What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we have some interesting news regarding undefeated rising lightweight Mexican superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, who is 22 wins, no losses, no draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. He ended his year-long layoff against Emmanuel Tagle, in which Ryan Garcia, he got a unanimous decision over Emmanuel Tagle. He dropped Emmanuel Tagle, but it wasn't an impressive performance, okay? With that said, Ryan Garcia, we know he parted ways from his longtime trainer since 2018 and well-renowned trainer and two-time trainer of the year, Eddie Reynoso, and his big brother mentor figure, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who is the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, and Saul Canelo Alvarez, okay? So Ryan Garcia, he weighs in on Canelo Alvarez's this past weekend fight. But at the same time, Ryan Garcia addresses he's been ordered now by the WBC, World Boxing Council, to face off against another lightweight Mexican superstar title contender in Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Isaac Cruz is 23 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 16 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'4" with a 63-inch arm reach, okay? So the WBC has ordered Isaac Cruz to face off against Ryan Garcia, and they have to come to an agreement by June 14th, or it's going to go to a purse bid, okay? With that said, Isaac Cruz is coming off of an impressive 5th round knockout victory over Olympic gold medalist, 3-division world champion Yuriorkis Gamboa. That was April 16th as the co-main event to Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas massive unification bout, okay? So with that said, Ryan Garcia, like I said, he ended his year-long layoff, and he fought Emmanuel Tagle, in which Ryan Garcia, like I stated, he got a unanimous decision victory over Emmanuel Tagle. That was back in April this year as well, a week before Isaac Cruz fought, April 9th, okay? So with that said, now they had jaw back and forth. They, it seemed like they was entertaining the possibility of facing off against one another. They was building up the fight, and it didn't come to fruition. Ryan Garcia ended up going the route of Emmanuel Tagle. Isaac Cruz was saying, send me the contract, let's make it happen ASAP, and the contract was obviously never sent. Isaac Cruz, he said that they just simply didn't want to make the fight happen. They was avoiding the fight, is what Isaac Cruz stated. He said that, Ryan Garcia and his team were posturing, and they simply just didn't want to make the fight happen, okay? So with that said, he went the route of Emmanuel Tagle, okay? And now, Ryan Garcia also addresses Canelo Alvarez. Now, he parted ways from Eddie Reynoso, and it wasn't, on good terms, to say the least, okay? As we had, Eddie Reynoso, he stated that Ryan Garcia just simply didn't want to work hard. He wasn't showing up. He wasn't reliable, okay? Canelo Alvarez, he stated that Ryan Garcia would show up to the gym. Then, Ryan Garcia would leave. He'll be there for 20 minutes. Then he'll leave. Ryan Garcia would then tell Eddie Reynoso he'll be there at 12. He wouldn't show up to 2. Ryan Garcia, this was all in response to Ryan Garcia stating that, Eddie Reynoso didn't have time, to give to him, to dedicate to him. And so he had to go elsewhere. And so he got with Joe Goosen, okay, who trained him in the beginning of his career. Okay, Joe Goosen trained Ryan Garcia early in his career. And now, we have, Ryan Garcia getting back with Joe Goosen, okay? So he got back with Joe Goosen, and now he's training with Joe Goosen, but he's just stated that, he had to train with Joe Goosen because Eddie Reynoso didn't have the time, and it was a reunion with Joe Goosen, okay? So with that said, Canelo Alvarez wasn't happy. Canelo Alvarez started saying Ryan Garcia was wasting his talent. He wasn't committed to the sport. Ryan Garcia wasn't happy with that. He started to say he realized Canelo Alvarez was never his friend. He looked up to him like a big brother and a mentor, and he realized he was never his friend. He never, truly supported him. He was just doing so out of the relationship between Ryan Garcia and Eddie Reynoso. Okay. And so with that said, now Canelo Alvarez, he had a massive fight this past weekend, okay, where he took on WBA undefeated light heavyweight world champion Russian superstar boxer DMITRY Bivol, and Canelo Alvarez got outclassed. And Ryan Garcia, he held no words back. He let it be known that this was easy work for DMITRY Bivol. Canelo Alvarez got outclassed. He handled Canelo Alvarez pretty handily, and Canelo Alvarez needs to take his own advice and go back to the drawing board and make adjustments, okay? Wow. But Ryan Garcia is telling the truth, okay? Now Canelo Alvarez is now 57 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. He is, 31 years of age. He'll be 32. 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. DMITRY Bivol is now 20 wins, no loss and no draw. 11 wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 72-inch arm reach. It was another schooling on Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, he faced off against legendary retired Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Floyd Mayweather back in September of 2013, in which Canelo Alvarez, he lost every single round of Floyd Mayweather. Rounds 1 through 12. You may be able to say he may have won round 12 and maybe around 11, because at that point, Floyd Mayweather, he understood that he had the fight in hand. The fight was in the bag. And, Floyd Mayweather, he always in the 12th round, he'll move around the ring, run around the ring, and he doing his hands like this and letting you know he won the fight. Just avoiding any contact, to secure the victory and make sure nothing happens. Don't get clipped with something and knocked out at the end of the fight like Meldred Taylor did with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Chavez Sr., okay? So, in the 11th round, Floyd Mayweather, obviously, he's toying with Canelo Alvarez. He knows the bag is secure. Floyd Mayweather is very ring savvy, very aware of his surroundings, and he was very aware he was dominating the fight. So this is the second time we witnessed Canelo Alvarez absolutely get dominated in the fight. And I think that he won maybe 3 rounds against DMITRY Bivol. 3 rounds. Although, just like the Floyd Mayweather fight, you had a judge saw the Floyd Mayweather-Canelo Alvarez fight a draw. 114-114. Gave Canelo Alvarez 6 rounds. There's no way that anybody that witnessed Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather thought that Canelo Alvarez won 6 rounds against Floyd Mayweather. Canelo Alvarez himself, after the fight, he said, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's wrong. Even Canelo admitted that. Okay? But yet a judge saw an even fight. Now, in this fight with DMITRY Bivol, a judge saw Canelo Alvarez winning 5 rounds in this fight. There is no way that a judge witnessed that fight with DMITRY Bivol and Canelo Alvarez and thought, well, you know something? Canelo won 5 rounds. Well, here's why. All 3 judges were in cahoots. All 3 judges had the same identical scorecard, in which you had the first 4 rounds going to Canelo, the next 4 rounds, 5, 6, 7, and 8, going to DMITRY Bivol. And then the 9th round going to Canelo Alvarez. So going into the 10th round, they actually had Canelo Alvarez up on the scorecards. I'm going to say this again. Going into the 10th round, they had Canelo Alvarez up on the scorecards by a round. First 4 rounds and round 9. So going into the 10th round, they had it 5-4 in favor of Canelo Alvarez. In a fight that he didn't win a round. I gave him the 2nd or 3rd round. And that's reaching. There's no way you saw that fight and saw him win 5 rounds and had him up on the card going into the 10th round. And then all 3 judges miraculously had DMITRY Bivol winning 10, 11, and 12. He handled Canelo Alvarez. And Ryan Garcia didn't hold any punches back. He let it be known this was going to school. Canelo got taken to school. DMITRY Bivol beat him pretty handily, pretty easily. And he needs to take his own advice to go back to the drawing board and align himself with the sport of boxing. This is the second time in his career he's lost in this manner. And it's actually the third. The problem is he was getting schooled by Erislandy Lara just 2 fights after the Floyd Mayweather fight. He was getting schooled by Erislandy Lara. But Erislandy Lara, like Oscar De La Hoya did when he fought Tito Trinidad, Erislandy Lara took his foot off the gas. In the second half, he thought he secured the victory and put it in cruise control. And ironically, Lara witnessed Floyd Mayweather dominate Canelo Alvarez every single round, and one judge saw it a draw. And yet he still thought the right move was to take his foot off the gas and go into cruise control in the second half of the fight. With Canelo Alvarez posturing, calling him out, standing in the center of the ring, saying, let's fight, stop running. The judges gave it to Canelo Alvarez, and it still was just a split decision in favor of Canelo Alvarez. So Lara was actually schooling him. So if Lara would have kept his foot on the gas as he did in the first half, it might have been another same outcome. So that would be Lara, and I still thought Lara won the fight, but you got schooled by Floyd Mayweather, you got schooled by DMITRY Bivol, you got schooled by Lara, and you have arguably 2 losses against Triple G. First one ended in a draw, where many people, 80% of the boxing world, thought that Triple G won the first fight. And then you squeaked out the second fight. I thought that Canelo Alvarez personally won both fights, in my opinion. But the fact that people could make a case that he actually lost, that's how close those fights was in his biggest step-up fights. That, so he could arguably have 2 losses to Triple G, lost to Lara, okay, lost to Floyd Mayweather, and schooled by DMITRY Bivol. He could have 5 losses and a draw on his resume right now. So Ryan Garcia said that was a schooling and he needs to go back to the drawing board. But Ryan Garcia himself is going to face Isaac Cruz, and he needs to be focused, because the style of Isaac Cruz, the commitment of Isaac Cruz, and the power and the awkwardness of Isaac Cruz, I believe is going to be a serious problem for Ryan Garcia. And I got Isaac Cruz winning that fight against Ryan Garcia. So Ryan Garcia needs to be careful what he's saying, because he's throwing the boomerang and it can easily come back to him. So let's see how this all unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like your shitty videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.